What is up, everybody? Welcome to the show. My name is Matt, and this is a Common Idiot podcast. Hope you're doing well. Hope everyone has had a great week and had a great Christmas. This is the first stream back since the holiday, so hope everybody had a good Christmas and good time with family. And it's also the last stream of the year, which is crazy that the year's already over. I mean, it's 2022's done with, and I don't know if I'm excited about that or upset because 2023 is right around the corner, and who knows? I feel like every single year, especially when it comes to pop culture and movies and whatnot, it just starts slipping down the ladder of horribleness. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But I hope everyone's doing well. I know I got a couple people here in the chat. Spitfire Mark, I know it's a little late on your end, so. If you're listening and you're here, I hope you're doing well, my friend, and I hope you had a good holiday. Execute Order Shill 66, what is up, my man? Hope you're doing well. We got a pretty good show today. I got a couple rumors that I want to discuss. A couple things I saw pop up. Talk about The Witcher and how that is just an absolute bomb. Apparently, there's rumors about Robert Downey Jr. potentially returning back to the MCU. Harry Potter reboot, which is just crazy to me. And then I figured we would do a year-end review and just some of the movies and series that we've had to endure. Mostly bad, I think, for the most part. But there are some pretty good movies and stuff that we got to see. So, excited to jump into this stuff. So I'm going to get into our first article real quick. Witcher... Execute Order Shills. Yeah, Witcher looks it's as of right now where we're sitting, it's probably the worst rated show from Netflix of all time. So Press Play Streaming Studios, Alan, my friend, how are you? It's been a while. Hope you are doing well. Thanks for stopping in and hanging out. Always love to have you here, and we need to stream soon. We need to get together again. So maybe I'll have you on. We could talk some movies, and I'm going to be doing a lot more streams up in the new coming year, and instead of just covering news, but covering some gem movies that we've kind of forgotten about, since a lot of the upcoming stuff is kind of dreary. So I like talking about positive versus the negative. So, but I look forward to talking to you again, my friend, and streaming with you. But the first one that I want to talk about today, the first article that I saw popped up, and I'm not really surprised if this is true, and apparently this is rumor, so take it again with a grain of salt. But apparently Robert Downey Jr. is going to be called back to the MCU. Now, I don't know how you all feel about that. I think obviously that dilutes everything with Endgame, and I think it just really shows you the desperation if this were to be the case, right? If they bring him back, I think it really shows you how much they've slipped, because what do we have really looking forward with the MCU right now? Not much. I don't think there's really any characters that people are going to be, running to the theaters to see. You had Black Panther, obviously that situation. But who do you have, right? What's the staple? You have Spider-Man, but Marvel doesn't have all the rights to that, so they're kind of in a pickle when it comes to that. So I think, again, they're pulling out all the stops. And if this rumor were to be true, they're thinking of possibly bringing him back. So it says here, this is an article from Fandom Wire. Robert Downey Jr.'s MCU return with a cameo in Avengers Secret Wars diminishes Iron Man's death in Avengers Endgame, which obvious, right? Like that's kind of a no-brainer that it just destroys everything from before, and it takes a lot of the emotional weight off of that scene, that movie. But again, I guess it would depend on what they plan on doing with it. If it's a flashback, if it's a multiverse kind of situation. I personally am kind of tired of the whole multiverse thing. By doing that, it's a great idea, and I think it worked with Spider-Man really well. But now if they continue to really harp on this, it starts to dilute everything, and then nothing has any meaning. It doesn't matter. There's just no more weight to anything. It's like, well, you just go to the multiverse and pull back another Tony Stark and pull him. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not something that I really enjoy and look forward to. And I just think it's lazy writing too. When you go have the multiverse, and we're going to talk about a lazy written movie here shortly, because I've had some people attacking my review on Glass Onion, of all things. But we'll talk about that here shortly. But so apparently the rumor is that he's going to be coming back in the Secret Wars and potentially the Don Cheadle's Armor Wars. And a lot of people had some issues with this. So, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. rumored to return in Avengers Secret Wars and then the Armored Wars as well. Rumors about the due date star's cameo or a brief appearance in Armored Wars have been going around for a while now. The film will follow Don Cheadle's character, James Rhodes. Considering his relationship with Tony Stark in the MCU, fans are expecting to see the Sherlock Holmes star in a flashback sequence with his best friend. That makes sense if they go that route, right? The flashbacks and whatnot. But if they do any type of, like I said, different multiverse, anything of that nature, I feel like they're missing out here. So let's see. Execute says, how many more dumb decisions are they going to make? Hold on, because I think they have a lot more up their sleeve. And Alan could very easily use him as a hologram CPU image delivering a warning would be cool. Yeah, something like that. Absolutely. Or if they find a message from the past, if they do this, even the flashback with Don Cheadle's character, that makes sense. And that would not dilute anything, right? That wouldn't take away from what happened. If they go into the multiverse situation and they start pulling maybe another Tony Stark in or something of that nature, that then I think becomes an issue and dilutes a lot of it. So it really depends on how they play this, if it would pan out and work out the way that it should. But I don't like to give them the benefit of the doubt anymore, only because, they just continuously let us down on some stuff. So, but we should stay hopeful, I guess. And I'm more of a, now I want to believe it when I see it kind of thing now at this point. And Cajun Corey, my friend, hope you're doing well, sir. Hope you had a good Christmas. I hope you all did. And yeah, I can't believe this. Like I said, this is the last stream of the year. New Year's is right around the corner, and fresh start, and got a lot more stuff coming up. So, but yeah, I saw this floating around, and a lot of people, like I said, it looked like a lot of people online weren't too happy when they heard about this, for good cause. But like Alan said, depending on how they do this rumor, if this were actually to be true, if they do it tasteful, if they do it in a flashback scenario or like a message or a warning or hologram, that could make sense. But something like this is where like most people's, knee-jerk reaction is. It says, who cares about a cameo? Make it meaningful or don't do it. If you're going to cheapen the endgame sacrifice, then you at least have to make it worth it. If we don't get something great from it, then it's just a net loss. And I tend to agree with that. If you're going to do something and have some weight with that, it's got to be worth it. Make it really make sense. So let's see. Cajun says, I know I've been off work all week and it's almost over. Hope your Christmas. Yeah, I know. I've had a little bit of time off. Today's my first day off for the week. Well, I had Monday off and then a couple days, and now I'm off again. So, and just enjoying the time off, because I know the first of the year, January, is going to be nuts. I'm sure most people's work is going to be insane too. So, Bobby, hope you're doing well, my friend. Thanks for stopping in, checking out everything. I'll probably have a member stream on Sunday. I'll announce that, though. Might be a little bit later in the day than normal, but we'll have a member stream too. Just kind of a Happy New Year stream if anyone's available. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that. Yeah, Corey, same way. I'm at this point when it comes to the MCU, excuse me. I'm just checked out, right? Like, it's just, I would rather dive into older comics and read some of those stories and learn more about stuff versus what they have coming out, because again, it's just nonstop, just really bad. I mean, I don't really have anything that I'm looking forward to besides Guardians of the Galaxy. I think is the only movie that I'm really looking forward to, just because I love those characters. And even though I'm really upset with James Gunn and his decisions, I get it, like it is what it is. Apparently, just to kind of briefly touch up on the DC stuff, the rumors that I've heard floating around, again, don't know if it's true, that it was more of a Zaslav decision with Henry Cavill rather than a Gunn due to cost, and they want to kind of push away from the Snyder stuff. But again, nobody really knows right now. Those are just rumors. You know what rumors mean. Absolutely jack jack crap, because at the end of the day, we're not going to know until we actually find out what's going on. And DC stuff isn't even slated to come out until 2024, which is mind-boggling to me, that all next year or all this coming year, it's just a bunch of movies that aren't going to matter. It's stuff that's not going to have, that I don't think they can carry over because it's such a mess. They're going to have to start from scratch. So again, I don't really understand. But as you could see, a couple people really just kind of saying the same talking points. Like, if they do this and they bring him back, it's got to be for some good reason. Otherwise, you've just completely destroyed everything from the past, and you've taken away from the end game death, right? So his sacrifice and all that. So again, hopefully it's some type of flashback if they're going to do it. To me, it just kind of really shows you maybe a little bit of desperation to get some people in the seats and get excited to bring back that old nostalgia, because, you know, I don't think really anyone's looking forward to, I don't know how an Armored War, Don Cheadle, War Machine movie on its own is gonna do, you know? I'm sure there's going to have cameos of other people in there, probably maybe Ironheart showing up. That would be interesting. Not, I don't think for a good reason. Ironheart and War Machine going side by side. Oh, geez. But yeah, so this is the first rumor that I wanted to discuss. Like I said, I thought it was interesting and impactful enough to at least discuss and bring up and see what you all thought about it. Not really something I'm looking forward to, depending on how they do it. So, David, my friend, how are you doing, my sir? Hope you're doing well. Game Zone, some friends. So absolutely enjoy the game, and I will talk to you soon. So you have a good time, and then we'll do a member stream. I'll keep you posted on that as well. So I'll DM you if I have to. So, but let's see what we got going on. Besides this, I also heard another interesting rumor about a IP that some of you guys might have interest in. Me personally, I mean, I like it. You know, it's nothing that I'm like, it's not Star Wars, let's put it that way. But I know a lot of people are really big into this IP, and the fact that they might be rebooting it is kind of concerning, and I think kind of crazy that that's even in talks. But again, this is all speculated rumor, so take that with a grain of salt, because I have no idea. I wouldn't put it past them, though, for multiple reasons, and we'll get into that here in just a second. But so apparently the rumor states that Warner Brothers Discovery is potentially thinking about doing a full-on Harry Potter film reboot. Complete overhaul. That to me is insane. And a lot of people are like, well, there's just no way they can do that. The only reason why I think it's possible is they are hemorrhaging money right now. Warner Brothers and Discovery are they're just doing poorly with money. So if they reboot it and they can milk this IP dry by going in different directions, making spin-off movies and whatnot, or just a reboot in general, then maybe it will work. But I don't know how that would bode well with some fans. And just because, I mean, again, I know a lot of people, the original fans of Harry Potter, not all, some have issue with J.K. Rowling, right? And I don't have a problem with her, but I know there's a lot of those, some weirdos do, or some of her comments that she has said. So the fact that I know the actors, the original OG actors of Harry Potter, are not fans of J.K. Rowling now because of everything that's transpired. So the fact that that's a thing, obviously, and their age, right? Completely, they're too old to do anything from before. So you'd have to recast them. But there are some iconic character or actors that you would have to recast. And I don't know, these movies are pretty impactful to people. Like, they're pretty powerful. Corey says if they're going to remake it, if they're going to remake, they're going to put trans characters to spite. I don't know. I don't think Zaslav is on board with that stuff. He's all about money. And J.K. Rowling is, my understanding, and from this, they're behind J.K. Rowling. Like, they want to work with her, and they want her to create more books and more movies to build off of those, or the movies from the books. Like, they want her involved. So I don't know if they would do that. But again, you never know, because hey, it's the way the world is right now. And as Execute says, yes, leave legacy characters alone. In general, I think you should, for sure. Not a big Harry Potter fan, but Daniel is Harry Potter, and that's right. So how do you ever look at this IP without him being Harry Potter? Like that, there's just no other way. That's like, Marty McFly, right? Like, we know who Marty McFly is. There's no actor that can replace that. Doc Brown. There's no actors that can replace that. Just like I think it's going to be a major issue, supposedly, when they reboot Star Wars, because that's apparently going to be a thing in the down the road. Do you know how insane that's going to be if they actually do that? So, but now these rumors are all from insiders. I believe they are also other YouTubers that covered this. But I know back in November, it says here, Zaslav responded to a question from Wells Fargo analyst Stephen Kale, telling him, one, we're going to have a real focus on franchises. We haven't had a Superman movie in 13 years. We haven't done a Harry Potter movie in 15 years. One of the DC movies and the Harry Potter movies provided a lot of profits for Warner Brothers Motion Pictures over the last 25 years. So you can see where he really wants to squeeze the sponge out of the IPs that they own, because just like Star Wars sat for years and years and years, they didn't do anything with Star Wars. Then now we're regretting that. We wish that they left Star Wars alone, but it is what it is. So in the article further down here is where they really get into what they were talking about. So on WDW Pro is the YouTube channel, I believe, and the YouTuber. And he reiterated the rumor. It now seems extremely likely that Harry Potter universe, which I think internally is called the Wizarding Division, it is receiving a reboot in the future in terms of the movies. And that may also include recasting some of the roles that have become iconic inside the Harry Potter universe with major actors and characters. And when this loads, I'll be able to go over the rest of the article. So he reiterated this too. He says, we're not talking about Fantastic Beasts. We're not talking about some of these ancillary Harry Potter things. We're talking about what is referred to inside the industry as core Harry Potter. You're looking at that original cast, Harry, Hermione, Ron, new cast, completely starting over. So I thought that was really interesting if they do that. I don't know how that would work and if that would be successful. I think that would be mainly rejected if that were to happen. Execute says here, is Disney dumb enough to reboot the original trilogy? Yes, I 100% heard that. And I was listening to, I was listening to a YouTuber, and they said that they had met some of the, like McGregor, right? They met him at like a Comic-Con. They were talking about the potential reboot, and apparently that might be like, that's going to happen eventually. Like once they get old enough and they're going to reprise, that's because they want it all to look the same from the prequels. So they have McGregor, they'll have Christensen playing Vader, an old Vader. So they say. I don't know. I can't. Would you really put it past them though? I wouldn't. Because that's the main problem with Star Wars is the original trilogy for them. Because that's George Lucas's vision. So if they remove that and they make it their own and they kind of put that in the vault, right? Or they treat it like the EU books, it's like, oh, this is the Legends, then they can do whatever they want. So, but getting back to this, yeah, very interesting that they would do this with Harry Potter. I don't know. And I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. So I've seen the movies. I enjoy the movies, but these movies are iconic to some people. I mean, there's a lot of crazy Harry Potter fans out there. So the fact that they would touch this and reboot it from scratch is kind of shocking to me. I don't know if that's a smart idea. I think if anything, I think they should build off of this because, again, the movies were pretty good. And I'm a casual fan by any means, if you even want to call it that. I've seen maybe a couple of the movies twice at max, but I enjoy it. They're okay. But I wouldn't want these redone. These are very well done already. if you're going to make prequels or spin-offs, just do recastings or something. I don't know, but interesting. There's another interesting rumor going around. Just kind of wanted to throw it out there and see what you guys thought of. Scott, hope you're doing well, my friend. Hope you're having a good week. Hope you had a good Christmas. And Execute says, man, this thing is taking forever. I wouldn't put it past them. You were right. Yeah, I don't put anything past Disney. They are very good at destroying everything and making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. So, again, for them to sit there and redo the Star Wars movies, no. I think that's they know even the haters would want to watch it to rip it apart. So they would get the views. And, they're trying to appeal to a younger audience for all this stuff. They're trying to erase what came before it so they can create their own things. So, I don't know. Crazy stuff. So we talk about The Witcher real quick. That was an interesting show. And of course, if you've been, I'm sure most of you have, because a lot of you guys cover the same YouTubers and whatnot. We kind of all cover a lot of this news, but The Witcher Blood Origins is apparently like the worst show that Netflix has ever put out. I mean, it's apparently, I again, haven't watched it, right? I don't have no desire to watch it. I'm not going to review that. I don't care. And I'm not even going to sit here and say I'm the biggest Witcher fan in the world. I'm not. I've not read any of the books. I've not played the video game. I've wanted to. I've heard the video game Witcher 3, I believe, is like really good. It's insane game. Very good story. So I've thought about diving into it. I heard the books are really good. So, but I'm not a fan, right? I don't know anything about it in that sense. I would probably enjoy it, but of course, what Hollywood does and what these companies do is they take everything and they destroy it because, we've heard they've mocked the original source material. How'd that go? And now we have this going on where even the shill reviewers are trashing this show, which that's a bad sign for everybody involved. If you have even the shills that are not coming out and supporting this show. Now, funny enough, the excuses are always going to run. And there's nothing, this should not be surprising to any of you. So CBR, of course, coming from this website, The Witcher Blood Origin is getting review bombed by novel Henry Cavill fans. Because, of course, there's always an excuse. There is no accountability in today's world. We cannot hold anything accountable for specific reasons. It's always someone else. It's always something else. It's never just the actual problem at hand, right? Maybe the show's just actually trash. No. It's Henry Cavill fans that are just trashing the show into the ground. Even though CBR, their own reviewer from CBR, said it's a poorly done show. But, of course, they're going to blame something else because misogynists or racists or sexist or whatever the case may be. It's always something. Scott says here, a slippery slope it would be to reboot either franchise. Yeah, I don't think you can't reboot those major franchises. You just can't. It's not anything it's not a smart decision. Let's put it that way. But these companies don't really tend to make smart decisions. So, Corey says Disney is secretly geeks and gamer fans and want the channel. I think so. I really do. Sometimes when they make these decisions, like they're like, let's give Nerdrotics, let's give Ryan Kennett, let's give these guys fuel to make more money on their content because why not? I may get The Witcher for PS5. Not sure. I didn't even know it was out for PS5, so that's cool. I'm sure. I figured that. Now that I think about it, it would make sense. But yeah, I've heard really good things about the game. As Execute says here, highly recommend Witcher 3. Not often, Corey says, not often critics and fans are united. And yeah, exactly. That's another thing too, right? Normally there's a pretty split fan base. You have one or the other, and everybody hates this series. Everybody. I heard it's just just horrible, right? Who watched it? Somebody watched it that I trust. I don't remember the YouTuber because I watched a couple of reviews, and they said that the first 2 episodes were decent. Like Like, they weren't bad. They were okay. And then episode 3 hit, and it just like an absolute bomb. I mean, like absolute garbage writing. And it just got wonky and, you know, the typical stuff. I think as of right now, let me see. I think Rotten Tomatoes, when I did my last video on it, it was at 8%. It may have went up, but let's see. I think it might have been the last I checked, 11%. Oh, it went up. It went up. It's up to 12% now, which that's another thing too. A lot of people don't realize that there's positive review bombs, because the people who love these shows will just create new accounts and they'll positive review bomb stuff just to make it really good. So here's where we're at Rotten Tomatoes. We're at now 12%. So it's been ticking upwards, right? But of course, if you look at this, it's still the general consensus. It's just a trash show. I mean, look at these reviews. Terrible costume design, set design, directing, cinematography, editing, VFX, and the absolute worst writing I've ever seen. Forgot that this is supposed to take place in the Witcher universe and any Witcher canon. And it's still the worst show I've ever seen in at least a decade. The fact it takes a dump all over the source material and its fan base and even contradicts the canon of the main show just makes it even worse. The showrunners should be fired yesterday. Now, I did see an article, too, that I did one of my videos on, where the showrunner, of course, said that you're not supposed to write for the fans. And that right there, red flag, right? Then who are you writing for? And their excuse was, you're never going to make them all happy, whatever the case may be, blah, blah, blah. Again, as many people have said, as we all know, if you just, as this person right here who wrote, Aaron T., if you stick to the source material for literally 90% of the established IPs that have massive fan bases, you're going to do fine. I understand, and most people with a brain understand that you're not going to be able to pull everything off the page and be exact. But if you stay as true as possible, if you don't deviate too much, you're going to have success. Again, right here, Andrew G. Respect the source material. Clearly made by people who don't understand fantasy. Pure fan fiction, if you even call them fans. And they're not. We know this. We know the same thing over and over again. These people take these IPs and these beloved shows, and all they wanted is on their resume. That's it. They would say, they could sit there and say, oh, I worked on The Witcher. I worked on this. And they want to, even the showrunner said, they wanted to make fantasy, this fantasy world, reflect modern times. What? Why do I want to see modern issues in a fantasy world with elves and gnomes and wizards and spells and what are you talking about? But see, the reason, and as many have said, these people don't have a creative bone in their body. And the only thing that they can do is pull from real world things, and not even real world, Twitter, essentially. Twitter and what the mainstream media feeds them. That's it. So they pull from those topics because they're abundantly clear and pushed in their face all day, and they can write about that. But any type of creativity whatsoever, they're not capable of doing. So let's see. Corey says it just got the next gen update a few weeks ago. Oh, about Witcher 3. And yeah, the last time he saw it was 10%. Yep. Yeah. When I originally saw this, I think it was like I said, maybe 8%. And so the reviews are just, so let's see what a positive review says. So a positive review says, thoroughly enjoyed the show, loved the visuals, the acting, and the way it was narrated more from a historical perspective. Okay. It could have benefited from more episodes, though, to give the story a little bit room to breathe. So I think cutting it down to 4 episodes might have been a mistake. But then again, the narrative structure might have worked better this way. Still, the finale felt a bit rushed, especially regarding Baylor, which is why I only gave it 4 stars. What I did like about the last episode, though, was that there was quite some nods and a bit of foreshadowing towards the main show. So my main regret is that we probably won't see how the story continues for the main characters of Blood Origins. Okay. I don't really know if that warrants 4 stars, though. I don't know. That's their opinions. That's fine. But yeah, as you can see, most people do not like this. They're just hating on this, and it's pretty bad. So some people out there like it, and that's okay. But it's just pretty funny that, again, anytime that you have a show that gets bashed into the ground or it's just not doing well, they always resort to it's Henry Cavill fans, right? It's the trolls online. It's always something. It's always some type of trope as to why a show's failed, not just because it's bad, but it's always the fans' fault. Because that, it's always the fans' problem why something isn't doing well or is a complete bomb. But let's see. Now, the other thing I wanted to show you guys, I wanted to kind of go through those rumors because they're kind of light, not really much going on. But I wanted to do like a year-end review, just kind of stuff movies that have come out and just kind of go over the year, right? 2022, we're wrapping up. Think about all the bad stuff that's been out. Obi-Wan, She-Hulk, what's the other one? Book of Boba Fett. Like, these are some bad series. We've had a lot of bad movies too. We've had some decent, right? I know Avatar. I don't know if anyone in the chat have you guys seen Avatar? Has anyone enjoyed it? I don't know much about it. Doesn't look appealing to me. I watched Robot Head's review, and it's basically like a pretty dumb show. Like, it's a pretty dumb story, but yeah, a lot of it contradicts the original one. The fact that so he made some really good points, but it's doing well. Oh God, Scott, you just reminded me of like the worst movie of the year. Halloween Ends. Halloween Ends is probably the worst movie of the year. I really can't think of anything else that I watched that was worse than that. That's a pretty rough show, or movie rather. But Avatar it's probably going to break even. Moonfall? I don't think I've seen that. I don't know if that is, or I blocked it out of my brain completely, but that doesn't ring a bell. So thankfully I didn't see it if it was bad. Did anyone here see Glass Onion? Because I want to talk about that for a minute. I did a review of that, and I didn't even hate on it that much. I just mentioned that it's not that great. People are treating this movie like it is the best thing to ever come out, and it's really not. It's okay. It was a decent movie. It was enjoyable if you don't think about it, but there were a ton of plot holes and just really convenient things. And again, really lazy writing when it comes to why things happen. They're just like, oh, well, that's just the way it is. I don't want to spoil it in case you haven't seen it. But Scott, if you did, I did not see it. Normally, I'm really good about Glass Onion. So let me know now what you think about it, if you liked it or not. Because sometimes I get notifications on the comments, and then sometimes I don't. So I may have responded. I got a lot of people. I got at least one person in particular that was not happy about my review. And I didn't even trash it that bad. I just said that it could have been way better. They just really, shake and bacon. What's going on? It was all right. Yeah, it was okay. It was all right. The first one was way better. The characters in this one felt like caricatures. Scott, if you watch my review, they were like cartoons and clowns. It was just so much convenience happened, right? I understand, I don't know. The first one way better. The first one was even written better. This one just felt like it was trying too hard, if that makes sense. So I don't think I'm seeing people saying it's like a masterpiece. That movie was definitely not a masterpiece by any stretch of the imagination at all. I've not seen Babylon, but I've heard that's bombed at the theater. I've heard that's doing terrible. Violent Night, haven't seen that. Now this list here for 2022 is going by popularity. So of course all these movies are up at the top. Scott says, yeah, I hated how the characters were written. Yeah, they were just, again, I know they were making fun of Elon Musk as Miles. Then Dave Bautista is making fun of YouTubers because Rian Johnson hates YouTubers. So he was making like a mama's boy who lives at home in his basement making YouTube videos and stuff. I mean, that's not why I didn't like it. It was just the other issues that I had with it that I didn't really enjoy. Shake and Bake says, a definitely inconsistency and leaving you with a feeling of, wait, what? That make no sense. Yeah, there was a lot like that where, again, I don't want to get into spoilers here in case people haven't seen it, but it just, there's definitely some things where just like, it's too convenient. And for someone to be so stupid to figure out stuff so quickly, it didn't add up. And then two, one point was, again, the MCU effect. I hate when movies do this, where you have a somewhat emotional moment or a deep moment, and then you have to like have this slapstick humor or dumb remark thrown in to like kind of negate the feeling that they're trying to get across. Like, I don't get that. Just, it's okay to have like maybe a dark comedy, but then some moments can be dark. Like, it doesn't always have to sprinkle some type of forced humor on it. Like, I don't get it. Yes, the explosion, everyone would have been dead. Like, everyone would be deaf, blind if they did live. Like, it was, I don't know. The actual glass onion too. If you look at that, it looks like a specific object. That's all I'm gonna say. Very strange. But let's see, Violent Night. I did not see that. I heard it was okay. I heard it was like it should have been like a streaming movie. So Black Adam was all right. I never even heard this Banshees movie. Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio is probably one of the best movies that I've seen all year. Besides Maverick, I love that movie. I'm doing a review on it. It'll be out before the end of the year. I highly recommend, if you have not seen that movie, to go watch it. It is worth it. It was, especially if you have children or love your father or parents and family, go check it out. It's awesome. I've heard really good things about Bullet Train. I've never seen it though. I think it's now on Netflix, so I might check that out. And The Whale. I heard The Whale is a really insane movie. Like, I heard it's so well done. I heard Brendan Fraser kills it in that movie. Then you have obviously Top Gun Maverick, which I think is one of the best movies of the year. Crazy that that movie of all the movies, like maybe one of the best movies of the year. Like, I find that really insane. A Christmas Story Christmas was okay. I thought it was a decent, sequel to a classic movie. But yeah, a lot of decent movies that came out, right? Some really bad ones, some stuff that I've never seen. But man, what do we have going looking into what's to come? You know, like I talked about DC earlier. Let's see what Shake and Bacon says real quick. I do like how they portrayed the main female character. She wasn't shoved down your throat, overpowering, and the story played well while still giving her the role of exponent. I agree. What was her name? The sister. Monet something, I forgot is the actress's name. But she did a really good job. And they did write the female character really well. You make a very good point. She wasn't like Rey Skywalker, right? She wasn't some Mary Sue that did everything on her own. Like, she clearly needed help to get answers to things, and it was a teamwork kind of thing. So I do like how that character was written. I think she did well. The actress did a very good job, and it wasn't too over the top or, like you said, shoved down your throat, female empowerment, nothing crazy like that. So Kate Hudson's character was annoying. The washed up model. Ugh. God, the freaking Batman. Ugh. I did not like that movie at all. And like I said, getting back into looking forward into 2023, the DC stuff. If you're a DC fan right now, you're just kind of like, what's going on? Because you have 5 movies coming out next year. None of them matter or are going to even be involved in the reboot. Or I think it's 4. Because the Joker sequel is supposed to be coming out in 2024, And then after that, that's the last movie in the slate, the current slate. And that's when you're going to have James Gunn's Reboot come out after that. So, yeah, I not really looking forward to what's to come out now, especially with all the news. And I did not like the Batman. I was not a fan. The more I think about it, the more I probably dislike it. Oh my God, Scott, The Barbarian was a wild movie. This movie was crazy, and it's so weird. Like you nailed it. Like it's just a weird movie. I think it's worth the watch for sure. Just there's a couple scenes in there. You're just like, you're literally sit back. You're just like, what the did I just watch? Like, what did I just see? I highly recommend everyone check it out. Rewatchability, I don't know if I'd want to watch it again. Personally, it's weird. I'd probably watch it with someone knowing that they haven't seen it, just so I could see their reaction to certain stuff. And you're just like, you just wait. I'd rather watch their face than what's on because it's pretty insane. But I thought it was interesting. Thought it was interesting for sure. Don't Worry, Darling. Never saw it. Don't care to. I don't really care for what's her name? Olivia Wilde. I hate her. She's annoying. Chris Pine. He's all right. Harry Styles. He's weird. So I have no desire to see this at all. Smile. You guys probably heard me talk about Smile enough. I really enjoyed it. I think it's definitely. So I watched this twice because I went to the theaters to see it. Actually, I watched it more than twice. And then I watched it at home with family, and I don't think the effects are as good at home. Like, unless you have like you're really dialed in, you're really, like you have the sound on, you don't have stuff going on. Like you really got to pay attention. You got to have the sound up. I think it's better for the theater and it's more effective because sound plays an important role. But I did enjoy it. Like you're gonna see some other movies that are similar to it once you watch it, but overall I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Let's see. Shake and Bacon says, if you had to pick a comic book character to be in a movie or show, which would you pick? Someone brand new, not a reboot. Curious about your take on this. A comic book character that we have not seen yet, a movie or a show. I would love to see a Gambit movie, like an origin story, or maybe not an origin story, maybe like a little later on in his life as he meets the X-Men. That would be really cool. Because they've done Wolverine, we've seen Cyclops, but Gambit is a great character. They kind of like, as much as I love Magneto and stuff, they've played that out so much. So, and I don't really want to see villain movies anymore. I like the hero movies, but I would have to say probably Gambit. And I don't know if that's from the Marvel side. If we go DC side, I want to see a good Green Lantern movie, like a good one. So I guess that doesn't count, right? Because it's already not a reboot. Okay. I don't know. I'd have to think about the DC one for sure. Because there's definitely a lot of options on DC. I don't know. It's a good question though. Scott says Smile is creepy. What about you, Shake and Bacon? Do you have any? I'd be interested to know, or if anyone else. Corey says I could play Gambit. I've been told that. Yeah, Cajun Corey makes sense. Yep. Yeah, I loved his character. He's one of the best characters. You know what? I have an answer for you, Shake and Bacon. DC movie. If it's a DC movie, I would want to see a Clayface movie. I want to see a Clayface villain movie. I think that would be amazing. I don't know if he could do a movie centered around Clayface with Batman in the background. I think Batman would have to be involved, but I think Clayface would be sick if they could do that somehow. It seems like everyone is so focused on reboots and trying to make money off what's already been done just to be safe. Yep, that's the standard. And the reason why they do that is, they, for instance, like with Black Adam, they threw all this at Black Adam and it bombed. So they don't want to go the testing route anymore. They want to play it safe because they don't want to lose money. And that's why they just keep rebooting the same stuff over and over and over again. It's a business at the end of the day, which sucks. But that's where, when you have a lot of fans, they gotta come out and support the stuff and actually go see it. So I don't know. It does suck though, because I would love to see some things. I think if anything, if they're gonna do it, make more animated movies. If you're not gonna do live action, make animated movies. There's like DC is top tier animated movies. They have such good stuff. I don't know if it's gonna be that way going forward anymore because of how things have changed, but Marvel can't make an animated movie for their life. And I think if you're going to make some comic book hero movies and stuff, animated's the way to go, because there's some really good animation they could do. And I'm not talking about anime. But yeah. Let's see. I don't know. Do you guys have any really good movies that came out? I don't know why this is on this list. This Megan right here. That's a horror movie that's not out yet. It's supposed to come out in 2023. So that's not, I don't know why, unless I missed something, but I just saw the promotional stuff, and my understanding is it comes out next year. So I have no desire to see this. It just seems like a knockoff Chucky. The Northman, man, it sucks that this movie didn't get more attention than it did, because that movie was so good. It was such a well done, different movie, very violent, testosterone. I mean, when I went to the theaters to see this, I was literally the only person. Me and who I was with, we were the only ones there. That's it. It's like, and we were looking around like, are you serious? I mean, I was happy because we had the entire theater to ourselves, but it just sucked that nobody else was experiencing this movie because it was so good. Scott, you do. It is definitely worth seeing. I believe it's on Peacock if you have access to that app. I'm pretty sure it's on there, and man, it is worth the watch for sure. I heard decent things about Tar. I don't know. Set in the international world of Western classical music. Nah, you lost me. I don't care. Yeah, I have no desire. All Quiet on the Western Front. This is a movie. This is one of the best war movies I've seen in a very long time. It's so good. Such a good book if you've read the book. But this movie is on par. Again, Netflix is really weird. They'll come out with stuff like The Witcher. That's absolutely garbage. And then they'll come out with stuff like this, which is just a home run. I mean, if you want to see a really good war movie that really focuses, it doesn't, like I said many times, it doesn't romanticize the war aspect, right? It's very real. It's that you could feel like you walk away from this movie remembering some scenes and having that feeling like, man, people went through this. And that's I think the most mind-boggling and eye-opening thing is that it's based on true events, right? This is what they went through during World War I. Horrendous conditions, horrendous things happened. And these people, men and women, well, let me back that up. These men went through this, and it's tragic. And that's why I think movies like this, I will always push, because we shouldn't forget what everyone's went through in the past, like what people have sacrificed to, so for us to be able to talk online into a mic or whatever the case may be. Yeah, I think you are right, Corey. I think it's also on Prime as well for free. But I recommend that movie 100%. It's such a good movie. I heard the live action Pinocchio is absolutely garbage. So I wouldn't recommend that. Yeah, Scott, I recommend you checking out All Quiet on the Western Front. Like I said, the book is awesome. It's such a good book, but the movie is incredible. It is a really good movie. You'd be shocked at how well done it is. It's dubbed over, so you don't have to worry about like subtitles or anything. And they do a really good job with it. Again, the conditions that they're in, the heartfelt moments, it's very to me, it's similar in the sense of if you've seen Fury. I don't know if you ever watched that movie. There are some scenes in Fury that are very like gut punching, and that's the same thing with this. Like the camaraderie with your brothers in arms, right? You're not fighting for your country anymore. You're fighting for the people to the left and right of you. You don't even know why you're fighting anymore. The differences in this movie where you're seeing like the commanders and everyone living in luxury, essentially. They're by fireplaces, right? And then you see the people on the front lines living literally in knee-high water and mud and slop and rats, and they're starving to death. Like, it's crazy. It's insane, but highly recommended. You will not be I did a review on it, so after you watch it, if you do decide to check it out, watch my review and let me know what you think, because I'd be interested to hear what you think about it. Shake and Bacon says Megan was released in Los Angeles on December 7th, 22, and the rest. Okay, so I guess they had like a screening for it, which that's interesting. I guess that makes a little bit more sense. But yeah, I know the promotions are going through the roof. I've seen like all over Twitter for Megan, and I think that's the only movie that's going to slow down Avatar. Apparently, too, speaking of Avatar, James Cameron said something. I saw like a little interview where now he's saying that it's somewhere around the 1.5 billion to be profitable. Like the mid 1.1, So it's fluctuating. It's no longer 2. I think he just says a safe number. It's 2 billion. So I think it will definitely be profitable. I don't understand the hype for Avatar personally, but hey, that's me. Let's see. Another good movie that I didn't mention that I saw, Black Phone. Black Phone was a really good movie. It's not a horror movie by any means. I think it's more of like a mystery thriller kind of movie, but it was really good. Ethan Hawke did an incredible job on Black Phone. So if you haven't seen that, I recommend you check it out if that's something that you want to, that's the type of movie that you like. Elvis, never saw that. The Woman King. Oh boy. Yeah, don't recommend that one. Scream. So Scream is like one of my favorite horror franchises of all time. When I watch Scream, I really enjoy it. Like the first time I saw it in theater, I loved it. Thought it was good. I know the premise, I know the ending, and I'm not going to spoil anything in case you haven't seen it. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about. Like the reasoning why the people behind what they're doing is doing it. At first, it didn't bother me. After I've watched it again, kind of like, okay. Like it wasn't. I definitely don't like it as much anymore. After, like, you watch a movie and you get your initial like out of the theater reactions, and you're like, all right, it's cool. Then you think about it and you watch it again, you're like, no, it's not as good as I originally came out. That's where I'm at with Scream. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but the reasoning and all that stuff is really kind of stupid. And I have zero desire. Like, this was it for me. I have no desire to see the next one to come out, because now it's going to be like in New York City. I mean, it's like Jason takes on Manhattan, right? Like, I don't want to see Ghostface running around. It doesn't work in Manhattan or in New York City. I mean, it's too big. There's too many people. What are you doing? I don't know. Maybe some people will enjoy it. I have no desire. Then you have Thor: Love and Thunder. I heard that was an absolute disaster. I probably, now that it's on like Disney Plus, should probably watch it just so I can see why it was so garbage. But I don't like Taika Waititi. I don't think he's, anything special. Scott says, yeah, the originals won't be in it either. Yeah, I know they tried. Apparently, they tried to have, what's her name? The one who plays Sydney. Can't think of her damn name, but Sydney Prescott. They wanted her to come back, but apparently they lowballed her with money. Like, they didn't want to pay her what she thought that, she's worth. So she was like, no, I'm not coming back for that. Which is sad, because Sydney Prescott is literally Scream. Like, that, she is the franchise. So now that they're going off, and now it's going to be centered around these new characters, it just feels cheap. It just doesn't, I don't know. Not a fan. So yeah, Thor: Love and Thunder. Terrifier 2. Listen, I love horror movies. Like, I do really enjoy horror movies. I did not like the first one. I don't like this at all. I've not seen Terrifier 2, but I've heard it's literally just like gore porn. That's all it is. It's just apparently like the most gory movie that you've ever seen. That's not my cup of tea. Like, I don't like the Hostel movies. I think those are stupid. It's just that, gore stuff that I'm not a fan of. So I didn't watch it. If anyone watched it out there, let me know what you thought. Be interested to hear your opinion, but it just did not look appealing to me at all. I know RRR is supposed to be like one of the best movies of the year. I've not seen it yet on my list, but there it is. I knew it was on this list somewhere. I've heard amazing things. I've heard it's insane, very good movie, and I need to check it out. But yeah, I'm gonna try to get that review for RRR out at January. I'm gonna be doing a new kind of series, like amazing or overrated, and I think that's one of them because people have hyped it up so much. So I think that would be interesting to cover for that one. Weird Al Yankovic, man, if you want an over-the-top, balls to the wall movie, I would check out Weird. It's insane. Like, I thought it, like when I first watched it, I thought it was going to be a legit like documentary, like the movie Elvis or the Queen movie or anything like that. No, it's not a biography by any means. It's insane. Like, it's over the top. It's crazy. But yeah. So I just wanted to go over a couple of the movies that this year that I could pull up on this list. And, I don't know. This year for pop culture and movies and shows weren't that good. Weren't that good at all. Some standouts. We had Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan was obviously, I think, what put the nail in the coffin for Star Wars. And we have Book of Boba Fett. I know Mandalorian's coming out soon. I know that's coming out March, I think is what they said. So I'm not really looking forward to anything. Anyone in the chat, what are you guys looking forward to at the beginning of or next year at all? I don't really know. Like I said, Guardians of the Galaxy is the only MCU movie that I have interest in. DC, the only movie that I might be interested in still is Shazam. But other than that, I don't really have any, like, I don't know, man. It looks like a kind of a bleak year. I hope not, but Uncharted. It was an okay movie, but not too faithful to the games, I felt. Yeah, I didn't see it. I heard what Tom Holland plays him. I love the games. The games are great. But I knew, like, video game adaptations are never good. Like, I can't really think of that many video game adaptations that turn out really well. Yes, I forgot Dune Part 2. That I really enjoyed Dune, and I'm going to see Part 2 in theaters. As long as I would imagine they're going to keep the scale the way they did in the first one. I saw the first one at home. I didn't get to watch it in theaters, and I feel like I missed out because of the just insane movie that it is, right? Like the scale, the sound, like I can only imagine seeing that maybe in like an IMAX theater. That would have been nuts. But yeah, I'm just not, I don't know. Let's see. Corey says here, Justified City Primal should be premiering next year. And I'm hoping it was just, are you talking about Justified, the series? Like the original series? Because I've not heard of that. Like the Justified City Primal. Look it up real quick. Oh yeah, Primeval. I didn't know they were doing another series with him. Oh man, my parents are gonna be so stoked. They love Justified. I've yet to see the series. Like, I still have to watch. That's on my list of shows that I got to watch. Justified. I've always heard good things. It shows here it's going to be a mini series, so I don't know if it's just like maybe a 10-episode run. Yeah, the series continues the story from Justified, taking inspiration from the Elmore Leonard novel City Primeval. Interesting. What about the return to Silent Hill? No, I don't think that was a good. No, I don't like this. The Silent Hill movies to me weren't that good. The games were great, but not the movies. Yeah, Uncharted, okay, regular movie. Yeah, it's just a good action movie. I left Dune Part 1 and felt that I had watched the most visually and audibly stunning movie I'd ever. I mean, insane, right? And if you really think about it, that movie was so entertaining and kind of long, but it flew by quick, and it was mainly just world building. There was some action, right? But it was mainly world building, and that's how you know you got a good movie on your hands. So I think Part 2 is going to be really nuts. So I'm excited to see what they do with it. Justified is the original. Yeah, they're making a limited series, 8 episodes. Yeah, I've always wanted to watch the original Justified. I love the actor who plays him. Timothy Olyphant, the guy, what was he, the sheriff in Book of Boba Fett too? Like the one that had Boba Fett's armor. I think he's a great actor. If you really want to watch a fantastic series with him, I think it was even before Justified. Westwood. Westwood was a amazing HBO series. Hang on. No, I'm wrong. It wasn't Westwood. I'm looking it up. Maybe you guys know. It's a HBO series, and it's a Western. It came out early in his career. It was so well done, but it didn't. Oh, Deadwood. That's what it is. Deadwood. Yep, you're right. Deadwood was like 2004 to 2006. They did 3 seasons of it. It's so good. I really wish they did more seasons. They should have done one more season, but what had happened is they came back after years of being gone, and then they did like a final movie to finish off the series. But oh man, that series is so freaking good. It is such a good Western. He plays an iconic sheriff in that. There's so many good actors in it. I definitely recommend it. Westwood taught me new ways to cuss people out. Or Deadwood, yeah. Deadwood, the vulgarity is insane. Yeah, and the follow-up movie is, I thought it was okay. In order to finish the series, they were originally going to do a full season, and that's why most of them signed on, and then at the last second they switched it to a movie, which a lot of people were pissed off about. Yeah, it was not enough cussing, the movie. Yeah, the movie was definitely had a little bit of a different feel, but I think it wrapped the show up nicely as it could. I would have preferred a series, or like a season, but hey, I mean, we got something to at least finish it, so that's a positive. But yeah, I think that Deadwood is one of the best HBO series out there. It's very, very underrated for sure. But yeah, but other than that, I don't really have a lot like that I'm looking forward to in 2023 when it comes to movies and stuff. I mean, there's going to be stuff to review, and I don't know if it's going to be good stuff to review. Corey says he played Seth Bullock in the show, who was a real sheriff in Deadwood, just a fictionalized version of real people. Yeah, and that was the cool thing about Deadwood, is that there was so many. It was based on true events, and they just changed a lot of things around. So I think even the one guy was just the Swearinger guy, Al Swearinger, like he was based off of a real character as well. So Ian McShane plays him. You'd know him if you saw him, and he's iconic. So yes, that's one thing too. Guardians for me is really the only MCU thing I'm looking forward to from the MCU side of things. Like I said, DC, I've heard the rumor is Blue Beetle has done pretty good test screenings, so don't really know. I might check it out. Shazam, I've heard good things. I don't even know if I want to see Joker 2, just because it's a freaking musical and I don't care. I'm probably I'll wait. I'll wait till people go and see it and then get their reviews and then maybe check it out. But I don't know. But yeah, so for the end of the year, what I got coming out, I have my Pinocchio review coming out. I have to get that done. Corey says real quick, most of the characters were real people. They added fictional characters, but for the most part, all the yeah, I know. That's one thing why, another reason why that movie did so, or that show did so well, and why I really enjoyed it is because it wasn't just nonsense. They obviously they had to tweak things for the show, but overall, a lot of it, like old Bill Hickok and his death and whatnot. So yeah, pretty. And I love Westerns and I love the history of things, so I really got to enjoy it. But before the year ends, I do want to get out my Pinocchio review, and I'm going to try to get out my review of Orville Season 1. Really enjoyed Orville. I have yet to watch Season 2 yet because I want to watch Season 1 and get that. Oh, dear God. You brought it up, Scott. Of course you did. Yeah, we have Indy 5 to look up to, or to look forward to. So looking forward to Indy 5, but also not looking forward to it, if that makes sense. No, I 100% agree. I mean, it's Indy, right? So that's a movie that I'm going to go see, but I know the outcome. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I can make a video and say, hey, I 100% wrong and it was good, but I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be good at all. So I don't know. Corey says, I think you'll like Justified. It's a modern day Western. My brother has been telling me nonstop to watch Justified for years. So it's definitely on the list. I'll have to dig into it and check it out. But yeah, it's definitely one that's on the list. And I may do a review of, I don't know, maybe I'll just do a full season review. But yeah, coming up, like I said, for videos and whatnot, I'm going to be doing my amazing or overrated. I got a lot of movies that I'm going to have up. And I don't know if I'm going to do, when I have those videos, if I'm going to do just kind of like a live stream like this and then bring somebody on so we can debate and discuss. So I'm not sure. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but it's definitely something that I want to touch on. Like I said, I'll still be covering news. This year, though, for my channel, I want to thank all of you guys that are watching now or on the replay and watch all my stuff and all my members. I did pretty good for the channel so far. Like for this year, I got to 1,000. I didn't anticipate hitting 1,500. I hit that, so I'm really excited about that. I got members up and got some members subscribed, so that's awesome. So, I mean, overall, it was a pretty good year. A modest year. I'm happy with it. But yeah, I'm looking forward to next year. Like I said, I might be adding another day of streaming. Just depends. And might have to have more guests on. And if you guys ever want guests on or have recommendations, let me know. I will try my best to get them on. Sometimes, people's schedules can't pan out or whatnot. But yeah, it's always good to have other people on too and just kind of rant and rave about things and get their opinions on stuff. But yeah, I think that's it. I appreciate you all being here and hanging out. Like I said, I have a couple other reviews coming out by the end of the year. And I'll be doing my member stream on Sunday for you members out there that listen to this on the replay. So I'll let you know time because it is New Year's Day. But for you all here, I appreciate you hanging out and watching and supporting. It's very much appreciated. Wouldn't be here without you all, and I'm glad you enjoy the content. What was I going to say? Oh, be safe on New Year's. If you guys go out and do anything crazy, my old ass is staying home playing board games with the fam. I'm not going out and doing anything stupid, so I'm just going to hang tight, watch my Twilight Zone marathon that I watch every year because I love watching those. Those are so much fun. So I'm excited about that. And then, yeah, we'll break into the new year and come out strong and have a lot of videos and streams and whatnot, and looking forward to it. So, and Scott, my friend, thank you again, as always, for being here. Hope you have a happy new year, a safe one as well, you and the fam. And, but yeah, so I think I'm going to call it, guys. Again, thank you for all of you being here, hanging out, watching, liking the videos. Yeah, Corey says here, I'm staying in and watching some college football playoffs. Exactly. I'm past the point of going out. I want to stay in and hang out and just chill with family. I think that's the best thing you can do. So, but Happy New Year's to you, my friend. Thank you for being here, hanging out, and liking all the videos and whatnot. So, You'll have a good rest of your night, good rest of your week. Like I said, stay tuned for some more stuff coming out, and I will talk to you all very, very soon. So until then, see you guys. I'll talk to you later.